What's up, everybody? It's Monkey Farm, and we are here in my second world map where I built the infamous Death Bowl that you see here. I did a tutorial on this about 2 years ago, and it's by far my most viewed video, well over 3 million views. And I figured it is time to build a version 2 of this because all of the technology used is pretty much outdated with all the new features that have come in the last 2 years in Minecraft. So today we're going to build a second version, so Death Bowl version 2. What we're going to do today also is build this around a normal mob dungeon. That way, for those of you who haven't built a gigantic mob spawner, or you're on a server and it's hard to get a lot of mobs because there are a lot of other players on the map, things like that, this will be a lot more helpful for you. I do recommend, however, finding one as close to the surface as you can. I've taken this chunk out of another map that I played on because the mob spawner was very close to the surface, as you can see. So a few things you need to remember if you're trying to find a mob spawner somewhere near the surface. That mobs will spawn if you are 16 blocks away from the mob spawner, that little cage in the center. You have to be fairly close to that. So here's 16 blocks. So it does give you quite a bit of room in case you find a dungeon that's a little bit lower than this. You should be able to stand on the surface and still have mobs spawn in it. Alright, the first thing you need to do is make it so that your mob spawner will push the mobs wherever you want them to go. Mobs will spawn in an 8x8x3 area around this mob spawner cage. As you can see, we have 3 blocks on the left, so you're going to want to dig out the actual walls of the spawner area, and then you're going to want to dig down, at least 1 block, but a couple blocks to be safe because we're going to put water under here, so we're going to need a little bit of space. I'll dig this out real quick and show you. This will only take a minute of the video, so for those of you who know how to build a spawner already, don't worry. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this part. Alright, I've actually dug out 3 blocks below this because I don't want my mobs getting stuck bumping into this as the water is pushing them down, because they kind of swim, as you know. They would be bumping into it with their heads, right like that. So what you want to do, you want to line the back wall with water and have the mobs pushed off over here. And we're just going to drop them off. Now, depending on what kind of spawner this is a zombie. If you have spiders, obviously you're going to have to make this water canal 2 blocks wide, so that or probably even 3, so that the spiders can swim. But we're just going to do zombies for the moment. Let's put a water block down here, and then we can get all of our zombies swimming into this nice little channel here. And actually, it only needs to be 2 blocks high. And let's test this just to make sure they don't get stuck and bump their heads as they turn the corner. And they go in there just fine. They do potentially bounce once before they go into the little canal here. Okay, next we need to pick the spot where we want the mobs to come up. In other words, where we're going to build the actual Death Bowl. Okay, we can stand approximately this far away from the mob spawner and still get mobs spawning. However, I want to build it a little bit lower. So, by the way, I'm going to get rid of all this glass. I just have it here so you can see the perspective where everything is located. But let's say I build a platform here, or I build a little house here, whatever, and I'm going to be standing here. I want to be able to see all the mobs. So if I build, let's see, I want it centered also. Okay. So if I have the mobs come up here and build a little death bowl, I call it a death bowl, it's just a bowl, but there's a lot of death going on. Build a bowl around this area, I'll be able to see into the bowl, and I won't be too close where the mobs will try to come out and kill me or anything like that. But it'll give us a nice viewing area. So you want to pick that area, think of the coordinates here, and then dig down and connect that water canal that we built over here. Okay, once you have your canal going over to the center spot where you want your mobs to swim up into the Death Bowl, you need to put a mob evader in, which is basically a sign and a water block every other block. That will make sure they don't drown, but they will swim up. Okay, one other thing I need to do is put a sign here so the water doesn't push them back and drown them. Okay, let's get our water in. One thing I forgot to tell you is make sure you break a couple blocks back here, because the little zombies will clog up your mob evader if they'll just drown under there. But just just make sure you do that so that the zombies can the full-size zombies can make it up and swim up to the top. Okay, let's test this out real quick. Just put a water block here just so they'll swim up. Okay, let's throw a couple zombies in there. There we go. And they all are swimming up the mob evader, and eventually we'll have a death bowl here. Okay, now you need to build an actual bowl of some sort. I'm just going to build a really simple one here. Actually, I'm going to dig it a little bit lower. And then dig out some of the area. This you can do pretty much however you want. As long as they aren't able to escape, you should be fine. It doesn't really matter, as long, you know, just make it kind of a circular shape. I mean, you could do, I guess, a square or something like that if you wanted to put them in a like a fish tank or something like that. It doesn't really matter. Okay, we're back, and we have the water canal going all the way over here, and the mob evader coming up here. I actually moved it a little bit farther away. I wanted to make the bowl a little bit bigger than I had originally planned. Of course, you can, you know, this is not the greatest design. I just threw it together in 5 minutes. We're going to add the water to inside the bowl in a few minutes, because what we need to do now is we need to find a dispenser, and we want to point this upwards, and we're gonna have to dig underneath here a little bit, so let's okay, this should be very simple. What you want to do is put some redstone. Put a redstone line into the block underneath the dispenser. Now this is where we're going to have our TNT. Let's get a stack of that in here. Don't worry, this is going to be covered with water, so it won't break any blocks or do any damage like that. And then where do we want this? Let's just say we want to put the button right here. Okay, so what we're going to do here to wire this up, we can actually, in 1.8, I'm in the snapshot, so 1.8 isn't officially out yet, but you can actually put buttons on the ceiling or the ground now. So I'm going to put it on the ground so our view is not obstructed in any way. And now we're going to downward vertical wire this down to connect to the dispenser. I've also put some water in here. And to do that, just want to take a redstone and put a redstone torch on the side, then underneath that a redstone, and then a redstone torch on the side here. And basically what that will do is toggle the redstone torches whenever you push the button. Let's see, I guess I can lose 2 spots there on the ceiling, no big deal. So the reason I'm doing it like this is that it will save a lot of space, and if I just did a stairway down to here, it would kind of block our view and stuff like that. So anyway, that is all wired up now, and I just need to basically hide the redstone wiring now. Let's take some sandstone. You need to be careful that you don't cross any signals or basically block. You don't want to put a block anywhere above the redstone torches, because as you can see, it will short it out and actually activate the signal. So just make sure you don't do that, and you should be safe. So I'm just going to, let's see, just block this up to here, I guess. Put some stairs here or something like that. Anyway, you can do that however your base, looks, or however you want to do it. That's just a design feature. Okay, so I think we're ready. I need to go down into the spawner now and break all the torches. I've already covered up the tops of the glass. If there's any light coming in here, the mobs won't spawn. So we are almost ready to test this thing out. I think we are almost there. Just need to wall this up. Okay, we're ready. So we should hear some zombies spawning any second now. Also helps if you're not in peaceful mode, so I turned off peaceful mode. So now obviously you can hear zombies spawning, and it'll take, probably 20 seconds or so for them to get around the water canal and climb up, swim up the water channel here. Alright, as you can see, it's working. We're getting a bunch of zombies up here. They're swimming around, they don't know what to do. And they're in the water, so the sun will not catch them on fire, so everything is cool there. And I guess we're ready. Let's test this thing out. There's the TNT, gets pushed into the water. And there we go. I always love pushing that button and seeing them explode. So that is it. I will put a link to the old Death Bowl in case you want to see any of that as well. But now you have two versions, one for a self-built mob spawner and one for a zombie or a mob spawner dungeon. And this one is with the dispenser and everything. So hope you enjoy it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. I would appreciate it. And we will see you guys later.